Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies strengthening your business while offering your talent to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hey friends, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network broadcast, where we have one of our awesome members come and share their genius with you around marketing, communications, media, and sometimes extra bonus topics as well. But Jennifer Elia is with us today, and she helps you supercharge your social media, your lead generation, your marketing, make it easy. She has a lot of easy buttons, and she's going to share with us some of those today. And so I'm super excited. Jennifer's been a good friend. We've worked together many times over several years, and we're so excited to have Jennifer today. Jennifer, can you share with the audience a little bit of your background, your story? How did you get to do what you're doing? Like, what do people need to know about where you came from?
Yes. So thank you for having me on, Timothy. So growing up, I always had this crazy dream of living in a big farmhouse filled with kids, and that I would work from home. And what I really wanted to focus on was writing and researching for businesses and organizations. And everyone told me it was impossible. This was long before the internet existed, but this is what I wanted to do. And so eventually I went to college, went to continuing ed, became a teacher, went to grad school, became a college professor, because everybody told me what I wanted to do was impossible. And one semester I had a couple of young kids at home, my young children, and one of my classes got dropped. And so when the classes get dropped, you don't get paid. I needed to close the gap because we needed the money, but I knew that I couldn't take on another full-time job and keep up with the kids, and I didn't want to leave them. That was my whole premise. So I went online and looked to see what could I find that I could do from home. I felt like there had to be something, and I found an advertisement for a gig as a ghostwriter for a national magazine. I didn't even know what a ghostwriter was. I had to research that, but I applied and got hired for this contract, and that opened up my eyes to the fact that you could freelance, you could build your own business, you could create your own job. What I wanted to do was totally possible. And so in the process of building that business, I realized that I wanted to make sure that other people could have that opportunity, but also that they would have very practical ways to do it in a way that worked with their own lifestyle and how they wanted to live.
Love it, love it. So you're the entrepreneur who didn't know you're an entrepreneur until you became an entrepreneur. Yes. Or a writer who kind of came out of the cave, if you will, through a need in your life. And now you've been able to develop something through God's giftings and other people supporting you to be able to start your own business. Yes. And help people with all the different aspects of getting the word out and copywriting and funnels and social media and marketing and communications, all the different things that an entrepreneur wants to be able to do, but they sometimes need a little bit of help. And so we're glad you're here. Can you share with us, what are we going to be talking about today? I hear through a birdie, we're going to be supercharging our marketing efforts in less time, but what specifically are we going to be doing around that?
Well, our main focus today is that I believe in practical applications and ones that are realistic for people to do that actually have results. And so what we're looking at today is ending the social media marketing drama, because social media is a powerful tool, but way too many entrepreneurs have this overwhelm connected with it, and they get caught up in that, and it holds them back from building their businesses. So we're going to look at some ways to leverage social media without having it take over your life and your business.
All right, let's jump in. What visuals do you have for us today?
So
Here
we go.
Here we go. Let's go.
So this is just a preview of where we're going to go in this presentation. The biggest thing is the social media trap. I have seen this over and over again with my clients. And even before I was doing the marketing strategy, when I was working as a professional writer and researcher for businesses, was people getting sucked into the social media trap of churning out content or chasing algorithms and hacks and not really doing what's going to build their business. So we're going to talk about that. Creating a powerful content bank. So how you can create a bank of content that gives you more leverage online without having to create as much content. And also implementing sustainable strategy, because there are so many strategies out there. There are so many things you can do, but at the end of the day, if it's not something you can keep up with, then it's not the strategy for you.
Well said. I like that. If it's not something you can keep up with, then it's not the strategy for you. Write that in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be taking notes here in-house as well. If you're taking notes, I recommend doing them in the comments so that others can benefit from your note taking. But that was a nugget right there. Thank you for that tip, Jennifer.
Okay. So the social media trap. Social media is a powerful tool. It's something that lets businesses reach people all around the world for little to no money. It's something, an opportunity that businesses have never had. And so it is important. However, there's this trap of thinking that it's the only way you can market your business. And people get sucked into it, and it wastes a lot of time and energy, because we've all been on social media and said, I'm just going to check Facebook for 5 minutes. And 2 hours later, we've scrolled through. We don't even really know what we've done with our time. And business owners can be the same way. We know that we should be engaging. We should be posting. We should be, following different people. But it's very easy to go down a rabbit trail and get lost in it. And so that traps us from doing things that will actually grow our business. Part of that trap is the pressure to constantly create new content. Content is king. It always will be. Words are what power the internet. They're what power videos. So having videos, having visuals, having posts are so important. However, constantly creating new content, having the pressure and the brain space of, I need to make a new reel, I need to write a new post, I have to come up with a new article for LinkedIn, I need a new video for YouTube. It occupies so much of our brain that then our brain doesn't have the chance to figure out or even just focus on, what do I actually need to get to the next part of my business and scale it? And so that pressure to create more content is part of the trap, because even though when you're not on social media and maybe you're not getting caught in scrolling or spending too much time in groups or messaging people, what you're doing is it's just haunting you all the time. And so it doesn't only rob time and energy and expertise from your business, it robs it from the rest of your life. While you're with your kids, while you're with your friends, while you're volunteering in town, all you're thinking about are all the posts and videos that you need to be making. So there's a misconception that more posts on social equals more success. And to some extent, that's true. Being visible on social, being there repeatedly, that people can trust you, that you're going to show up, having enough content out there that people want to keep following because they know that there's going to be more, is important. However, just doing more isn't what leads to success. It's doing more of what works and making sure what you are doing is in line with what will move your business forward. So there have been times, and this was one of kind of a pivotal moment in my business when I was still doing the ghostwriting and research. So I was writing webinars for people. I was crafting launches and email sequences and such. And everybody said, we need to be on Facebook, we need to be on Instagram. Those were the two big platforms then. And there were people out there saying, well, if you just create 14 posts a day, then your business is going to take off. If you're doing 15 stories, every day, or however many you can do, then you're obviously going to be making 5 and 6 figures. But just doing the post doesn't necessarily equal, it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. It's creating posts that engage people and then having a plan of what to do after that. And we're going to talk about that later in some of the slides. But I want everybody to understand that just doing more isn't the answer. If you're not getting the results on social media or in your business that you want, it's not that you need to keep doing more. It's that you need to step back and figure out what it is that you need to be doing and what's working, what's not.
I like that you're bringing the quality over quantity. You're not dismissing quantity, but you're saying quality is more important than quantity in most cases. And so let's play the strategy game instead of the frequency game only. I had a mentor one time, Jennifer. He said, general busyness is generally laziness. General busyness is generally laziness.
Yes.
And it hit me because I'm a driver. I'm like, I'm not lazy. And he's like, if you don't think through what you're doing and you just keep yourself busy, you are going to find yourself burnt out with little to no results. You need a specific purpose, direction of what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what you're hoping and praying that the result will be, and how you're helping people specifically, and those kind of things. And I was like, that is, you hit he spoke to my personality type is what he was doing. So for those out there who just like to be busy, listen closely to what Jennifer's saying, because she's going to give you some unlock codes that will help you make sure and be more efficient.
Yes. So there's one key statistic that I think everyone needs to know about that we don't talk about, and the people that are pushing a lot of the social media hacks won't tell you. At best, 10% of your followers on any platform are seeing what you're putting out. So when you put something out there, you have 3,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 1 million followers, 10% or less of them are seeing that single post, which lends itself to what we're going to talk about later. But also up to 80% of them won't even remember seeing it. And so those are two statistics I want you to keep in your brain as we go forward, because that feeds into the pressure of we need to constantly be creating more and more content because people have already seen this, or they already heard that and they didn't respond. So obviously they don't want it. I need to move on to something else. But these are very important. So less than 10% or less, 10% is the best it's going to be, 10% or less actually see what you're doing. And out of that, 80% don't remember it. Yes, so 2% might remember any given post. That's probably pretty accurate. And honestly, I think that it's probably less than that. For the short content, like the reels and the stories, virtually no one remembers it. I forget what the statistic was, but it was in the 90s of people don't even remember seeing it. So that's just something to remember. So you want your content to work for you. You don't work for Facebook. You don't work for Twitter. You don't work for YouTube, right? You work for yourself. And so that content, yes, it's on those platforms, but you don't just want to be feeding those platforms. You want what you're putting out on them to feed your business. And that's part of that trap and where we get lost. So just always think about that. When I'm putting this out, what is it doing for me? Is it just getting me likes? Likes are great, comments are great, but what is it doing for me long-term in my business? So there are 3 main categories of content that you need to consider and that everyone should have banked somewhere or be building. Maybe it's just like anything that you bank, right? Whether it's a food bank or silver, or you're saving up in an IRA or whatever. It's a little bit at a time. Everybody has to start somewhere with that first dollar or that first can. But understand that we should all be saving these somewhere. So the first thing is top performing posts. When you put things out, whether they're videos, their stories, their posts, on any of the platforms, you should maybe once a month or once a quarter go back and see which ones did best, which ones got the most likes, the most comments, which ones got the most views, which ones got 0 views and nobody saw. When you have top performing posts that people really engaged with, you want to take that and put that into your bank and either adapt it into a new post or save it to use it again another time. You want to capture those because now you put something out, you validated it, you've shown that people want to hear or see this. And so instead of just scrapping it and starting over, you want to take that and capitalize on it.
So are you saying go with what's working and
Yeah.
kind of play and build on that? Is that what I'm hearing from you right now,
Yeah,
Jennifer?
it's almost like that 80-20 rule actually works on social media too. Um,
Oh, okay. Hey, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, quick commercial, quick pattern interrupt, which we all know if we're in the marketing space, we know exactly what's happening right now. Want to make sure you know that there's going to be a gift toward the end of this presentation. I did not mention that on the front end. I probably should have, but I'm going to share with you now. For those who have ridden this ride up to this point, you're going to get a special gift toward the end from Jennifer. It's a valuable, worth hundreds of dollars. It's valuable mini course that will go through some things to actually get a little deeper on some of these topics. And so wait till the end for that, and you'll be able to get access to that. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you. And one of the things that it does is it builds this bank for you.
Oh.
So the second thing is core messaging posts. So all of us have core messages. I know, Timothy, you're very into core values and making sure that the messages are dialed in. We all have different aspects of our story that people need to hear, but also there are different aspects of our audience's stories that they need to hear. They need to hear us reflect it, they need to hear us validate it, and they need to hear us say, I know that you're struggling with this. This is how it can be a little bit better. Let me help you with that.
Hold on. That's a brilliant. Hold on. That is really an amazing point right there. So we all know that stories are powerful. Like if you haven't figured that out yet, we definitely talk to Jennifer. She'll help you share, just like she shared her story just a few minutes ago. There's a power to that. But those stories, if I'm hearing you right, need to be relatable enough, not some random like factoids, but they have to be relatable enough to an audience you want to actually work with, that their story begins kind of dancing with your story. Is that what I'm hearing from you right now?
Yes. So you do need to share your success. That's important. However, when we just say about, look at all these things that I do great and look at all these awards that I got, the people we're trying to reach, who generally are us before we figured out how we can do all those great things and win those awards, it's somewhat of a turnoff because they say, oh, well, she has it all together, or he must have special help or have special tools in his life or special people or connections that made that happen. They don't understand what I'm going through. And so part of our core messaging has to be, I do understand what you're going through. I see how you're struggling. I know that this little tip will make your life 10% better. And one thing I always say is that people, and I think I have it later in the post in the presentation too, but you need to get people unstuck so that they can make empowered decisions and move forward. When we all are looking for people who are stuck, right? And when I meet with people, I say, who's your ideal client? And they're like, oh, it's someone who's frustrated, overwhelmed, stressed, and stuck. And I was like, you could be selling a vacuum cleaner or a $50,000 coaching program. They're both in the same spot, right? So all of us are working with people who are stuck. People who are stuck can't take the next step forward. They're stuck. So you need to give them that little 10% to make their life better through your core messaging. And then that empowers them to say, yes, I can take another step. And those are the people that will buy into what you're doing and become loyal followers. The people who are stuck, they can't. They're just too busy being stuck. So you need to give them that little piece to move forward. And so that's why it's important not just to have content, but to have valuable content that helps your people move forward, even just a little bit. You don't have to give them the whole, 50 yards, but give them like the first 6 inches so that they know that they can go the 50 yards.
You mean not every marketing and communication and media professional is out there taking advantage of people that actually want to help folks get unstuck and move to the
Yes.
next step and walk with them on this journey? Is that what I'm hearing, Jennifer?
Yes, there are a lot of people out there who are scamming. However, that's not everybody. And there's just as many, if not more, people that are truly doing this because they want to help people. And so it's important for you to let people know that you are that person that wants to help them, that you're not looking to just take their money and run. So
All right. Good.
The third thing is branded content. So branded content ties into like your core messaging, but it's also content that sets up what your core values are, how you show up in the world, introduces them to you and builds connections. So doing videos like this, doing live videos, putting out pictures of you working behind the scenes in your business are all branded content. And it's important to have that out there so that they can connect with you. A branded content is something that connects them and puts a face to your business. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you show them everything in your life. It doesn't have to be that you even speak while you're out there if you're afraid, but it does have to be something that connects you to them so they understand who you are and what you stand for.
Kind of in the real world as it relates to your particular brand. Okay.
Yes. So quality over quantity again. If you know, and a lot of this has come from working with my clients because they come to me and they're all amazing people, right? And they want to make change in the world. And like, Jennifer, I know I'm supposed to be posting on LinkedIn 7 days a week, but I can't, and I'm falling behind and I don't know what to do. And I said, okay, let's sit down. Can you post on LinkedIn 3 days a week? Yes. Okay. Well, then if we can do 3 days a week every week, then that is better than doing 3 days this week and 1 day next week and no days for 2 or 3 weeks and then putting 7 of them out there. And it's really about that consistency and showing up when you can. So if you know you can only do one story or one reel a week on Monday morning, it would be better for you to do that every Monday morning faithfully than feel like you need to do 20 a week and do this big sprint and then get tired and not do anything for a while and then do a big sprint. So it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's better for you to be able to keep a pace and be consistent because we're all worried about the algorithm. The algorithm is not out to get you. There are things that we don't like about the algorithm. We all have our little gripes. However, the algorithm can be trained. And so if we train the algorithm of what we're doing and what to expect from us, it will work for us. And consistency is how you train it and make sure that your messages are clear because go ahead.
One of the things, Jennifer, that you just reminded me of is it seems like certain people have certain like styles or approaches or ways of doing things. And I've noticed they've fallen into 3 buckets: clarity, creativity, and consistency. And we need all 3. But what I'm hearing from you is don't forget about consistency. Like, let that be a big part of what you're doing. And if you need help with that, reach out to Jennifer and she can be your consistency queen for a while with insights on your brand and tools to make your life easier and those kind of things. But don't, at the very least, don't forget about consistency. And I'm seeing it on the actual page here. I'm seeing consistency and messaging clarity, of course, but that consistency can really be overwhelming for people. So I appreciate you leaning into that.
Yes, and that's where we get into the social media trap. And so the course that I'm offering at the end started as a challenge for my clients because every time I met with them, that was the first thing that came out of their mouth was the pressure of social media. And I realized I needed to get them past it because they had so much that they could do. So that was what we worked on last month. And so one example of a client, she is rocking it on YouTube. She's doing amazing, but it was getting to be overwhelming and she was feeling like she couldn't keep doing it or she wasn't going to be able to keep up with it. And so she was starting to feel defeated because she couldn't keep up. And so we sat down and looked like, what can we do to make this better? The importance is that you're getting a video out, let's say every Tuesday, and that you have something going out every day, some sort of short content. So, how can we make this better and easier? She has mountains of content. And so
Mm.
I sat down with her and we talked about breaking videos up. Because she said, I can sit down and record a video for 2 hours, but then to make all these little videos, it takes me so much longer. So what we did was she sat down, she made a video for 2 hours, she cut it into all these little pieces. She's been putting it out there and it's relieved all the pressure on I need to make a video every day. And as well as improve her YouTube views because now something's going out consistently. It's all scheduled, it goes out at the same time. There's something there. There's the same length of video every day, every week at the same time. And that has made such a difference for her and relieved that pressure that now she can focus on other things. So that's just a way of being consistent. It wasn't that she needed to make more videos or needed to go live every day. It was just that we needed to find a system that worked, that served her audience.
Well said.
So we talked a lot about systems, and that's really what it is. It's all about systems. This is a anecdote from before I guess it was my pre-business business. I had a tutoring business before I was online, and I got trained as an SAT tutor. And it was amazing when I was trained as a tutor because I realized that the SAT isn't really about what you learned in school. It's about knowing how to take the test. It's a system. It's knowing what you should do and which questions you should answer. And that's how you do well at the SAT. Social media is the same way. It's not about so much the content you're putting out there. There are people with very low fi, which is just very simple, not very edited, not highly professional content out there that have millions of followers and people love. So it isn't about all the things that you're doing. It's about understanding how to use the system. And so when you can create a system for your marketing, then that marketing can run almost on its own and you can focus on other things because you do need to focus on other things to grow your business and to serve your clients and also to live your life. So you need to use data to inform your strategy decisions, not the latest trends, not the influencers and gurus that are telling you this is what you have to do, or this is the platform you have to be on, or this is the only way you can build your business. Because I can tell you for a fact, I have worked with multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses. I have seen their back end. I know what they're doing. And they are not doing that only that one thing that they are telling you completely changed their business. I mean, it may be that one thing was a tipping point, but they are doing other strategies. They are doing multiple approaches. And so you need to look at your own data. You do need to look at what other people are doing in your industry, but look at your own data. What is going on with what you're doing? What is working? And then double down on that. Don't just go chasing trends. There are things that we adopt, like live video or short form video, that are a trend that we need to embrace because it's a shift of how people are consuming content, and that's important. But like I said, don't just go looking for tricks and hacks because they only work for so long. And by the time someone's teaching it to you, it's not working any longer, to be honest. So don't pay for don't pay for courses teaching you tricks and hacks.
I love that you said, look for what's working for you already and double down on that. Everybody put double down in the comments. Put double down in the comments because that'll help you remember that you're supposed to double down on what's already working. One of the best questions, Jennifer and others that I've met that have this teaching, training, kind of coaching vibe to them, one of the best questions that they generally ask their clients, and that she'll probably ask you when you connect with her, is what's working and what's not working.
Mm-hmm.
What's a good use of your time and what's a horrible use of your time?
Yes.
What's producing results and what's not quite growing like you thought it would? But no shame, no condemnation, no guilt trips. Just tell me, what is the data telling you right now? Where are we? So that when we review our data a year from now, we know that we've had some wins. What does a win look like? What's working? What's not working? Like some of these questions, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be asked by somebody like Jennifer
Mhm.
on a monthly, if at least quarterly basis. What's working?
Mhm.
What's not working? And
Yes.
go through her course, go digest that, and then set up a time with her, book an appointment with her, and make sure that you're being asked questions like this by somebody who's not going to lead you in some random direction
Mhm.
that where you're paying, $10, $20, $30,000 for a course, where really some of these courses don't give you as much meat and potatoes as what Jennifer will be giving you, even the mini course that she's offering today. So keep going, Jennifer. I just wanted to emphasize and reiterate and summarize what you were just saying.
Yes. And so you brought up an important point about investing a lot of money. So one of the things that has been a driver for me is that I get too many people in my virtual office that have spent 10, 20, 30, $40,000 or more on ads or someone saying, they message you and they say, hey, I can do this. And you think that I don't know what to do. So I'll just hire this person to do it because I don't know what I'm doing. And outsourcing is important. Hiring experts is important. Bringing in a team when you need to grow is important. I'm not saying that any of that stuff is bad. However, you need to know what's going on with your business and what you actually need before you hire someone. And a very pivotal point for me was when this young man came in. He was a dad with three little kids. He was trying to build this business for his family this way he could build a better life. And he didn't really know what he was doing with marketing. He was honest. He didn't know what he was doing, but he knew that marketing was what he needed. So he hired this person that was going to run ads for him. And he spent $50,000 on ads, had remortgaged his house to do it, and didn't get a single lead. And it just breaks my heart because obviously the person who's taking the money never stopped to say, it's because your website and stuff aren't, like he didn't tell him why the ads weren't working. He just kept taking his money. And so that's why data is important also, because you need to know how people are getting onto your email list, buying your products, like what's happening before you hire someone to do it, because you need to know where you need help. So that's why data is important as well. But also having a system and a strategy, it saves you time, it reduces your stress, it improves your work-life balance. I've been there, and I can tell you that most of my clients have been there, where we think, I need to make money, so I'm just going to spend all my time, right? If I just spend more time on the computer, I'll make more money. And it's not true, because less is more usually. More doesn't equal more. So when you have this plan, you can save time. You're not spending hours every day on social media or creating content. You can batch your content. You can strategically place it. You can reuse some of your content and have time to live your life, have time to build your business. And also, it's important to engage and not just build content. So that's something we haven't talked about, but that's part of the social media drama. We think that social media is just about creating content. It's just about being on more platforms. It's just about following the trends. Really, social media is social, right? It's there to build relationships. The great opportunity with social media isn't that 10 billion people can see your posts. It's that you can build a relationship with, let's say, 1,000 or 10,000 people, that you can connect with people one-on-one, even though they may not have time to come out with you. They may have a reason that they can't come to what you're doing, but they can follow you, they can become a fan, and they can buy into what you're doing. So don't spend all your time on content. You need to spend some time engaging with people and building relationships, and you have to do that strategically as well. We've all heard being groups.
Tip, ding, 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 ding. Spend time engaging with the people you're going to serve or you want to serve, or have any clues that they might need some of your help. This is a huge tip. I got a new nickname for you, Jennifer, before we go into the freebie, the goodie that you're going to be giving away here. And look, nothing's for free. You're going to need spend some time going through this, working on it. But you are the time-saving, data-driven marketing queen. I'm just giving you a nickname today. You're the time-saving. There's a lot of us who have had a desire to have a more flexible, almost a lifestyle type business where we can spend more time with our family. We can spend a little bit more time doing the things that maybe partnering with some nonprofits of some kind and giving back to our communities different ways, either through our business or adjacent to our business. And you being able to help us with our lifestyle and more flexible work environments through our businesses. I think you have a superpower here. I know you've helped us on a couple of things. We've dove into some things, partnered on some things, and you're continuing to help us even on looking at the back end of our systems and some different things. So thank you, Jennifer, not only for the help you've helped me with and our team and our extended network, Giver Marketing Network, but how you help your clients in general. Like, this is a really good approach, ladies and gentlemen. If you want the no hype, get her done kind of approach, this is where you need to connect with here. So Jennifer, how do people get a hold of you? Looks like you're pretty active on Facebook right now. I know that you emphasize certain platforms at different times just to make sure you're connecting with certain audiences, but look up Jennifer on Facebook right now. Jennifer Elia, Elia. Look her up, Elia, and then scan this QR code as fast as you can because we don't know how long we're going to keep this up. So scan it right now. Take a picture of it. That's what that means. Take a picture of it. Grab the QR code really quick, and then we're going to also put the link in the chat box for you, or excuse me, in the comments for you, so that you'll be able to go ahead and take advantage of this resource that many would pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a really right to the point mini course. It's not going to waste your time. You're going to go right in. You're going to spend a couple hours really just diving into what really will help your business. And Jennifer, can you share with us a little bit more what to expect? I heard something that it was like 3 short videos, and then tell us more about this.
Okay, yes. So there are 3 videos. One is about 25 minutes long. The other ones are shorter. It's very targeted. It's a bit of a pep talk, a bit of an instruction, and then it's really diving into how to do this. It includes the tools you need to build your own social media bank. It includes a demo of how you can reduce the drama and create systems around your social media marketing, and a workbook to help you really focus on what is your strategy, what is working, where do you need to be, who do you need to be talking to, and what are the messages you need to be getting out there. So really, if you could put 2 or 3 hours into this, it will be life-changing. It will save you tens of hours every week. And make you more money in the long run.
And I know you have a passion, Jennifer, about eventually building a systematized like funnel of awesomeness, like this lead generating funnel that helps you scale in a healthy way. We don't want to scale just to scale. We want to scale with the right clients in the right funnel at the right time for the right reasons in order to help them in the right way. So there's a healthy way to scale and grow, and there's an unhealthy way to scale and grow, which is what the proverbial house of cards. It's eventually going to come down if you don't have something that's super simple, systematized, has a funnel type approach to it where you're just welcoming people into deeper and deeper connection with you so you can help them more and more and more along the way as they see results. Keyword, as they see results. So there's a real strong desire to help here from Jennifer. So look her up, Elia, Elia, on social media, especially Facebook. She's pretty active there. And then go ahead and grab this resource because it may not be free forever. It may not be available forever. So grab it right now.
You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. And connect with me on any of those platforms, and I will connect with you. I'm also on Pinterest. I'm just not there very much. So,
well, you got to prioritize whichever one you enjoy playing on. So, blessings to everybody in the audience. We're going to also invite some panel guests right now to ask Jennifer some questions. So we're going to pull down I told you, we're going to pull down the QR code. You better grab it. There it goes. All right. So, let's have Christine. Can you join us and bring Frank, our awesome friend Frank, We're all part of the Giver Marketing Network, but we're all friends and we want to help each other. And one of the ways we do that is we put our guests on the hot seat and we just ask them really fun questions. And no, not the hot seat. We should call it something else, Christine. I don't know what we would call it, but it's some kind of experience where it helps the audience relate to like real questions that we would probably ask after a presentation. And so we're gonna represent the audience here and just ask some questions, maybe make some comments and those kind of things. But we want to we're going to pull some more nuggets out of you, Jennifer. We want to just make sure we can do that. So are you ready?
Yes.
It's definitely not a hot seat. It might be a warm seat, but it's
warm and fuzzy.
Warm and fuzzy seat. There we go.
Warm and fuzzy funnel seat for Jennifer. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. So what questions do we have for Jennifer that maybe the audience might want to ask, but they just haven't yet? I know that some folks are writing notes in the comments. I see them right now. They're saying double down on this, and here's some keys to this. And I'm seeing all that in the chat or in the comments. But what do we have? Frank, you had a question earlier. I thought I saw it.
Well, when Jennifer was talking about the number of people who would see a post and the number of people who would remember it, I wanted to be clear that the number who remember it is that tiny fraction of the very small fraction who see it. So 2% remembering is optimistic and 1% remembering is probably realistic. So my takeaway is I just have to say the same things much more often.
Yes. Yes. That's an important point because since 2020, they've done some studies. In the summer of 2021, they did a study of, we've all heard about touch points, and it was always 5 to 7. And they did a study on how people being bombarded with more marketing and spending more time online, how it affected that. And so in the summer of 2021, it went up to 15 to 21 touch points. And at this point, it's somewhere, they haven't done an official study, but I've talked to many marketers and we've looked at our data and it's closer to 21 to 30 at this point. So you need to be saying the same thing over and over again. At the same time, we always used to be able to depend on impulsive buyers, right? They always told you like 20% or so of your audience is an impulsive buyer. They'll buy it. And then there's early adopters and there's the late adopters, and you can just, ride the wave. Well, for the first time since they've been keeping those statistics, impulsive buying is in the single digits. It's like 4% or less. So none of us can rely on impulsive buyers any longer. We need to be nurturing in order to make the sale.
Come on, that was a nugget right there. We need to be nurturing in order to have a sustainable strategy so that we can continue serving people. I'm just saying it in different words so that everybody can kind of remember it. But Christine, did you have any questions, thoughts? What stood out to you?
I was really thinking about what you're talking about, the different advice and how it's constantly changing, right? So trying to keep up to date with what's going on. And we've heard really bad advice. I know someone post 5 times at once. I'm like, on the same channel? That's literally advice that I had gotten, right? I'm like, I don't think that's really how that works, right? So just trying to, so we get confused, right? It's so easy, even as marketers, right? Because it's constantly changing. I'll sign in. I'm like, whoa, when did this change? I just signed in yesterday. What? Right? So just keeping up with it. Sometimes it's nice to have a trusted advisor. So if we wanted to come to you and say, Jennifer, this marketing thing, it seems kind of overwhelming. What's it like to work with you? How does that journey go? If they just came to you and said, my social media, I help.
Yes. So one thing is things are changing online all the time, but marketing hasn't changed. I had studied marketing in high school and college. I decided I didn't want to go into corporate. I thought that was the only thing I could do with marketing. So I didn't do anything with it. And so over the years, I've studied has all of this actually changed marketing? And at the core, it hasn't. Marketing hasn't changed. We just have different vehicles. The other thing that hasn't changed is our audiences and how they buy. So we need to keep that in mind, that we get crazy with all the things that are changing, but really we need to put that aside and focus on what's working again. As far as working with me, a lot of people do come and say, oh, my social media, it's a mess, or I'm overwhelmed, or I don't want to do it. And they just want to like find someone to do it for them. And so what I do is I do have a team that can do things for you. But really what I focus on is getting your marketing in a system that it's manageable. This way, when you're ready to hand it off, you have a system and it's working and you just need someone to run it for you. What never works is when you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Nothing is working. I'll just hire someone and have them do it. Unless they are really, really good and they ask a lot of questions and they bother to dive into your business and fix it, then that will work. But if you're just saying, run my Facebook and nothing's working, you have a funnel problem and a messaging problem. And until you fix that, the Facebook isn't going to get any better, no matter who you hire. So generally what I do is when people come in, I do look through their whole funnel. We talk about their business. We focus on where they want to get to. So like, what is your goal? And let's look at what's going to get you there. And now let's set up the systems you need to get there. It isn't just about let's scale the business or let's do this. It's really, where do you want to get to and what can we do to get you there? And many times those steps to get there aren't necessarily what everybody's telling you have to do to get there. It's what's going to get that business there. I've had a couple clients that recently have, really dove into building local networks and getting involved in local, having local classes or building customer bases locally, and that has scaled their business. And everybody would tell you, no, it has to all be, through social media and through email. But when what's working is local, then you build that, and then that becomes the foundation while you're building the other stuff. So I guess that's the biggest thing. I set people up, and then I get them going and give them support through the way and all the tools that they need to keep going.
So Jennifer, there's one thing you just said that I want to just expand on a little bit. If you don't know how to do something and you hire somebody to do it for you, you don't know how to hire them.
No, you don't.
You can't choose somebody to do something for you when you have zero expertise. You don't know what questions to ask. You don't know how to vet them. You're relying on luck that the person you hire is going to be the person you need.
Yes.
So if you don't know how to do something and you want to hire somebody, get somebody who understands it to help you hire them.
Yes.
At the very least.
Yeah. You need to have someone who's going to explain it to you. And you do need to have the right questions. So if you're going to hire someone and you have no idea, I would find someone who's already hired someone and just say, what questions should I ask? Because there's always those questions that we don't ask. And then after we start doing something, I mean, this is across the board in life, right? We think, oh, I should have asked that question sooner. Ask someone who's already doing it. What question should I ask when I go to hire someone? This way, because if you don't know the questions, then you don't know what you need to know. And also, if you don't know what needs to be done and the person you're hiring doesn't explain to you how it works, then you have no idea if they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Like, there's no way for you to evaluate if they're doing a good job. If you get on a sales call with somebody and they're just like, yeah, this costs $10,000 and I'm going to do this and you just pay me, and they don't explain the process of, this is what I need, this is how it's going to work, this is what I need you to do, this is why this is important, they're not the person to hire. You need someone who explains the process and makes sure that you understand it and tells you what you need before the process is going to really work, because we all have holes somewhere. So that's an important part.
Well, I'm just going to mention here, you've gone through the effort of basically explaining the process through a resource, a mini course. And ladies and gentlemen, we all know that if we are in the room with somebody asking really good questions, that experience alone, to Frank's point earlier and to what we're discussing here, that experience alone is worth its weight in gold. If they know how to ask you questions and pull out your genius or what's working for you right now or what's not working, and so let's solve that, then you need to either pay them or hire them at some point, because they're asking you the right questions. Like, these are the good ones. These are the people you want in your corner. So Jennifer's put this mini course together, 3 videos, a workbook, and then a way to contact her as well along the way. And so I highly recommend grabbing that as a part of your journey. even give it to one of your team members to go through if you can't do it yourself. Like, find a way to make that happen and reach out to Jennifer on Instagram or Facebook or wherever. Jennifer, my last question for you is, can you share one example of a client that you've worked with where they were frustrated and now they're cooking with grease? I mean, olive oil. They're like, they're really moving and shaking, right? So what's an example of, even if it's somebody back in the day or recently, but just an example of a client, so we can get a picture in our mind of how that would work for us.
So it's interesting that you bring up cooking with olive oil. My one client, that's one of the things that she does, is she has a cooking channel on YouTube that is doing phenomenally. And she had been struggling to pull together a health coaching, and she does health coaching, but she focuses on creating systems really in your life that can keep you healthy. So it's not fad diets. It's not killing yourself at the gym. It's not eating only 5 foods on it. It's really just learning how to have the things around you and use them to make you healthy. And she had been struggling to get her message out there and grow what she was doing. And so we really sat down and thought, where do you want people to get to? Okay, you're wildly passionate and creative. You have all these things, but where do you want people to get to? What are the only things that you need to get them from point A to point B? And where are you connecting best with people? So she's been building the online part as far as the YouTube, and she has a new course coming out. But she's the one that's doubled down on the local and really nurturing those relationships and the teaching. And that has been growing. And in it, she's built the confidence to do more of this stuff online. At the same time, she's had the YouTube channel going that has, it's amazing what she's done in just a short amount of time. But it was all about having the systems and looking at what really needed to be done instead of trying to do everything and getting distracted. That made the difference.
So what I'm hearing from you is, if you want to help potentially thousands of people, the right people, in the right way, then we'll reach out to you and make sure that we can get a strategy that will help do that. Okay, good. Thank you for sharing that. Last but not least, I'm going to open the floor to Christine Dean. She's going to be sharing with us what to expect tomorrow for those people who are in the marketing, communications, and media space who want to just network like we're doing right now. Just have great conversations, talk deeply about marketing, communications, and media. If you're in that space, we're an industry-specific group. We're Giver Marketing Network. We're all professionals who are trying to help each other, working on projects, helping clients. We team up often, just like we're seeing right here, and we'll help a client. Usually there's a lead person, like today, Jennifer's leading the charge with her presentation. But how do marketing, communications, and media professionals, industry professionals, actually partner and fellowship and connect and socialize and help each other? How does this work, Christine?
Well, and a lot of times, right, marketing is such a broad field that a lot of times there's specialties, right? And everybody's got their own little niche that they're working in. And so when you bring us all together, we can really bounce ideas, work together, help raise that tide for all of us, right? And you're getting better in your business, learning how to white label each other, work together, and bring more business in for everybody, right? So it's really nice when you can work together and get that concept of abundance going. That's what it's all about. And actually, tomorrow we're actually going to be talking about social media. So perfect timing all around. So this works out really well. So join us on Wednesdays. It's every Wednesday, and it's absolutely no cost. We don't want any lonelypreneurs. Sometimes it's lonely on top. If you have a business, right, you got to have somebody else to talk to, right? You got to have somebody else at that level, another business owner to talk to. So that's a great space to be in. So if you are a marketer, if you're in the media space, if you're in PR, anything along those lines, right, come hang out with us on Wednesdays. That's at 8 a.m. Pacific. Go ahead and register at givermarketing.com/networking. Register once, save the link, and then come hang out with us. We're hoping you can make it tomorrow.
Givermarketing.com/networking, ladies and gentlemen. Jennifer, we want to thank you again for bringing your A game, answering those questions. None of these questions were prepared for you. And so you were able to just kind of rattle off some extra nuggets on top of your presentation today. I really appreciate you being flexible in that way, kind of on your toes, if you will. And I know you're data driven and quality queen of content and generating those funnels that will help work for you even when you're sleeping. They tend to kind of help people come along the journey, have little touch points along the way that are either automated or semi-automated or highly valuable for potential clients. So thank you for doing that, not only with us, but with all your other clients as well. And so we're proud to be a part of your journey. God bless you guys. Have a great week. Talk to you tomorrow. See you soon.